Hi, my name is Lolly, and I'm currently a junior at the Miami Valley School, taking Buddhism with our teacher, Mr. Squires. Today, I'm going to talk to you about a podcast that I listened to recently by Reggie Ray. Mr. Squires recently gave us a prompt, and what we had to do was go online and find any guided meditation or teaching or podcast by Reggie Ray and listen to it, take some notes, and make a video about what we learned. So, I'm going to talk today about a podcast that I listened to. I'll put the link below so you can check it out, called The Holy Darkness. So, in this podcast, Reggie Ray talks about the darkness that exists in all people and how we can embrace it, and how some practices embrace it, and how some practices don't. So, there are several meditative and religious practices out in the world that say different things about anger and darkness that exists inside of us. So, a lot of practices think that meditation is a way to separate ourselves from the darkness that exists. And Buddhism and a lot of other teachers sometimes say that anger is not okay, nor desire, or nor neediness, and how we need to learn to become peaceful, and how this richness comes from meditation, and that we can escape our sorrow and distance ourselves from what we're feeling inside. But it's really important to realize that a lot of meditation practices and religious practices vary a lot. So, the Vajrayana way really departs from a lot of other teachings in that we make room for the darkness that exists inside of ourselves. There's an ugliness that really exists, and even though it's something that's uncomfortable for a lot of people, it's something that we really need to embrace. Reggie Ray really said that to embrace our neediness and our dependency, our weakness, our hunger for not only food but affection and love, all of these things are something that if we embrace and accept, we can work with it and transform it into something that'll really transform and become something productive over time. So, Reggie also talked about the three yanas and how they are sort of a progression of accepting your darkness. So Hinayana, which is the first of the three yanas, says that it's okay to boycott what you're feeling inside, which I don't personally believe in, but I know that a lot of people do. And Mahayana is a progression of this, in which you give space to the neediness and the darkness that exists inside of you, and you understand it, and you understand that it's not emptiness, but you don't really work with it. So you may realize in Mahayana that this darkness isn't what you thought it was. It's not an emptiness, and it doesn't have as much power over you as you may have thought, but you're not doing anything with it. And so Vajrayana is a progression of Hinayana, or Mahayana, because you learn from this darkness that you feel, and you embrace it, and you learn that you don't need to feel that way, and you can change it. So, talking about this darkness, there's a really important, very spiritual event that happens on Earth, or out in the galaxies, I suppose. But it's the winter solstice. And the winter solstice is really a sacred time for a lot of people. The planets and the Earth and the Moon don't really need to line up the way they do, but they do, and that's something that's so cool. It's so cool that Earth exists, and that the people are here, and it's a phenomenon that we can't explain. But we're here on this Earth, and the winter solstice really shows that we need to take in wholeheartedly everything that exists around us, including darkness. So, the winter solstice is exceptionally special because it's the shortest day. So there's the most darkness, just like within ourselves. There's a lot of darkness. But the great thing about the solstice is that even though it's the longest night and the longest amount of period of darkness, there's a light that is born from this darkness. It's the birth of spring, and life comes from this cold winter of the lack of heat, the lack of sun, but things start to come anew. Babies are born, or animal babies, and flowers start to bloom, and all of this stuff begins to happen because of this winter solstice. So it's a spiritual truth because it's the lightness that comes from the darkness. And the holy darkness is the deepest darkness. And like the solstice, it exists in ourselves. Sometimes we experience a darkness that we don't think we can come from, that we don't think we can become better from. Trungpa Rinpoche once talked about hopelessness and how even at some points in our life we may feel totally hopeless, like there's nothing we can fix and nothing we can change, but we can turn this into a reference point and really learn from it and move forward and know that from that point of hopelessness and utter desperation, that we can only go up. We can only get better. So one thing I want you to take from this video is that even from utter darkness, there's a true rebirth that can occur, and life can emerge anew. So even in your darkest times, even during finals, or after you do bad on a test, or something could happen in your life that really feels dark to you, you can embrace it through meditation and through the Vajra way, and really become better because of it. So thank you so much for listening, and I really encourage you to check out some of the other videos on our MVS Buddhism page. Thank you.